Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, tomorrow is the big day. If you are from Wisconsin, you can still vote. You just got to show up and vote. Okay? Vote for Brad Schimmel. Uh, he is the one who's going to help save Wisconsin. Susan Crawford cannot get into office. She can't. Obviously, the prediction I am displaying to you is a likely scenario that she will get into office, but it's consequential. Everyone knows that this race is probably the most consequential race in all of 2025. And overall, it's not that, the Democrats are going to take this and run with it and say, look at this, Democrats can win. Even though, this is a low turnout type of election, even though the data is proving that this will actually be a high turnout, which is good news for Schimmel. But anyway, the Democrats will run with it, and they're going to make a huge deal about it. You will hear about it for 2-3 days, and what likely will happen, and we don't want to see it happen, but the Democrat Party approval rating will skyrocket. Why? Well, I'll tell you why, because half of those who disapprove of the Democratic Party, the 20%, are just fellow Democrats like James Carville, who doesn't like Democrats. He's a Democrat, but doesn't like Democrats because of their strategy and their behavior in Congress. A lot of that said 50, 60% are people that are Democrats. They're frustrated Democrats that voted for Kamala Harris. They haven't changed one bit, and they want Democrats to win again. And if they win this, then they'll approve the Democrats. They will buy into the Democrat Party grift. The AOC Democrats, I think it's going to be a little bit more convincing them. But I expect the approval rating to soar. That is the expectation. Will they go above water? No, I don't think that will happen. I think they're going to be double-digit points below water. But I would imagine that they're going to be in the 40s by the end of, if they do win this race, which looks like that is the possibility, unfortunately. We are looking at data, and and the NSC projection board has called this race for Susan Crawford already. This is our projection. The race is not over. You can go out and vote. It starts tomorrow, but NSC is basically coming out and we're saying, hey, we're going into this expecting a Crawford victory. We predicted the superintendent of public instruction race. That is another race that has not got much attention because it's not that consequential. It really is between Brittany Kinzer and Jill Underly, and this race is pretty it's looking good for Kinzer, but here's the problem with this. NSC is projecting this for Brittany Kinzer, but what can and easily will happen is, yes, we have one poll that gives us some proof that gives us one clue on who is doing the best, and that would be Brittany Kinzer. We have to remember, yes, people are mad about the current education system in this country. Wisconsin students are failing, specifically in urban areas like in Milwaukee and Madison. And overall, people that vote in this election, they obviously want change. So, 2025... Wisconsin, super, but we got to remember, this is also an office that favorites Democrats. How long has this seat been in the Democrats' column for? Well, look at this. Jill Underly, she won Wisconsin by 57% in 2021, 4 years ago. look at this. She zigzagged across the state. She won in the Milwaukee Metro. She performed very well in the WOW counties. And now I call these counties it really does depend. Actually, hang on. The WOB counties. If that's what it's called. Is it the WOB counties? I thought that's what they're called. We have the WOW counties. Those are more known, right? Well, here's WOW counties by 2024 election. Very red, of course. But looking at Wisconsin, there's actually these counties. You got Winnebago, you got Outagamie, and you got Brown. WOB, okay? The WOB counties. And they're actually just as important as the counties, the WOW counties. And we'll go in there a little bit. I know a lot of people say, oh, you keep bouncing back and forth. You're just in the middle of trying to show us. The last time the superintendent of public instruction went Republican, and that's like forever, right? Jill Underly, she was the newly elected superintendent in 2021. 2017, well, boy, it's Tony Evers. He won the state by almost 70%, winning one WOW county, and that is, I'm trying to think here. That's Ozaukee County. That's a WOW county, and he managed to win that. He held the office in 2013. Democrats held the office in 2013. 2009, Democrats held the office. 2005, what happened in 2005? I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, I would imagine here we go. Intended of public obstruction. Okay, yes. Tony Evers. Then there was Elizabeth Burmaster, who I believe is she is a Republican. I am looking at this correctly. But yeah, at least they held it since 2009. Guys, 2009. This is a seat that has been in the Democrat column, and now keep in mind they're independents. They're running as independents, but if they had to align with one party, they would be Democrats. Since 2009. Why? Because education is seen as a Democrat issue. But how good has Democrats run education lately? Horribly. Just look at the scores. There's a reason why we shut down the Department of Education. It's because it's not working. Period. And when kids are failing, and under this superintendent, Jill Underly, kids failed, I would imagine sane people that actually care about education would vote this woman out. People that actually care about education would vote her out. Because Jill Underly, under her administration, students are underperforming. Underly under. Take her name literally. Underperforming in grades. A lot of them don't know how to read. A lot of them don't know basic math. So obviously, the Democrats, the forever progressives, the big blown progressive leftists, they're going to back Jill Underly regardless. But we're talking about people with common sense, and I would expect some independents to go for Jill Underly. Some people, they're so dense, they'll just vote for Underly because they like her character. I don't think her character is good at all. Who does? Who does? I don't honestly expect much. Like, polls say that Kinzer is going to go make it through. I'm not so sure I believe that, but I can't say I'm trusting it. More people are undecided, 58%. But there hasn't been any poll. This speaks volume because obviously this race is not the most important race. So don't go into this thinking, Brittany Kinzer is going to blow away. I think it's very ironic that, and I know a lot of people will be telling me, well, you can't have Kinzer, the conservative, win, and Crawford, the liberal, win. Well, it can happen. It really does depend on turnout. But you just have to really look at this. But yeah, obviously, tomorrow is very crucial. Now I want to talk about the Supreme Court election, mainly because the Supreme Court election is very critical. Because you know what? This doesn't just affect Wisconsin. This affects the country. This affects the United States. Why? Well, what happens? Well, let's look at the court right now. I would argue it's pretty evenly split. I think it's 3-3. I think there's 7 Supreme Court justices in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And the problem is we have too many leftists. We got Janet, who is an absolute disgrace, and we have, if she wins, Susan Crawford. Susan Crawford has made it very clear to us that she would be a partisan judge on day one. Day one, she will be a partisan judge. Because we know that we have the said Wisconsin the United States House of Representatives is on the table. Let's go ahead and pull up that map. (2024) United States. Wisconsin. There we go. Okay, so look at it here. So, yeah, this is a very critical map. We're talking about 2 congressional seats. This is Wisconsin 3. It looks so Republican. Look at how big it is. Well, don't be complacent, because this seat, although it looks Republican on paper, you look at the actual results from the previous election, you'll see Derek Van Orden. You won't have him if you have parts of Dane County as a part of this seat. That's their agenda. Or Iowa County. For sure, that would impact a Democrat victory. You'll see Rebecca Cook. She lost to Van Orden by 4 points. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's pretty close. That's within the margin of 5. And in order to perform a margin of 5 said victory, she is carrying 3 populated counties. Eau Claire County holds a bunch of college students. We know the University of Eau Claire is there. La Crosse County, also a big college county. So she has the college students. Also in Portage County, a very big college county. So we got the 3 college counties, reliably Democrat. And then you have the light red. Why is this white? Because Republicans... It's not that Republicans don't show up and vote. It's just these have been ancestrally Democrat. Very Democrat. They were Obama counties that voted for Obama twice. And they voted for Obama by a lot. I want to believe Vernon County right here voted for Obama by 60% in 2008. All this was deep blue. And you got some of that around. These counties are sort of like Iowa County. No one really knows why Iowa County is so blue. It's very solid Democrat. It's a farming community. I don't know why. I'm just saying there must be devoted Democrats there, registered Democrats, and they will vote for the Democratic Party no matter what. So that is what we're looking at. So let's just say they decide to, let's just say, give maybe Sauk County to the 3rd district. Okay, that's a problem because you have Baraboo. You have Sauk City. You have, this is a county that doesn't really include a college. I get it. Sure, it's a Trump county, but it carries liberal votes. Period. You give them Iowa. Iowa County. This is likely the scenario. Sauk, Iowa County would be enough to put the Democrats over the edge in this seat. Then you got this seat going blue. We lose a seat. The voters don't get to choose. The Democrats do. The Democrats get to choose what our representatives are going to be. Isn't that infuriating? It's called gerrymandering. Democrats do it the most. And all it does is having a partisan judge like Susan Crawford approving her far-left plan to readjust the borders in the state of Wisconsin, giving Sauk County, Iowa counties to the 3rd District. That makes the 3rd District Democrat. Well, it can't get worse than that. Oh, guess what? It can. It absolutely can. Because we're looking at possibly this district, the 1st District, right here. I want to believe it's the 1st District. Yeah, it's somewhat compatible. I mean, it's mostly Republican. Brian Steele, he won his race by over 11 points. But how can this go Democrat? Well, let's see. All you got to do, let's just say you go and add Rock County to it. Extend it over, add Rock County. Or you go a little bit north and add a couple Milwaukee County metros. You see the plan? And I think it's important to actually look at the map of Wisconsin. So we're going to go to Wisconsin Election Atlas, where we actually can see the towns. Okay? Rock County. Shoot, we do not have a map. Let's go to 2020. Because I know for sure we have a map of 2020. Okay, Rock County. Look at this. This is influenced by Dane County, the rural side, and yet rural southern Wisconsin is still pretty liberal, despite being mostly rural. Yeah, I mean, sure, you get a couple conservative towns. Oh, there's some votes there. Like, there's 1,000 votes. That's not enough, though. You got Janesville. That's a big city into the 1st District. That's going to impact the 1st District by a lot. I mean, 60,000 votes, just added 65,000, well, just add, I would say half, divide it 58%. So basically, this would give Peter Barca up to like 46% at least. He has a little bit of Dane County. Rock County right here. This is a little bit of rock, but that doesn't give, that's not all, that's not the only, like, it's hard to explain. He has a little bit of Rock County. That isn't enough. You could give him the whole county, as far as I know. You could even include Greene County. And no one even knows why. Trump almost won this county. Everyone thought, oh, Trump's going to win Greene County this time. Well, yeah, he did very well there, but you get these silly cities like Monroe. You have Albany. You have Monticello. You have New Glarus. They're Democrat. Even in northern, I'm guessing the rural areas are really influenced by Dane County. Yeah, all of this is red. Solid red. This is for, by solid red, I mean Democrats. This is USElectionAtlas.org does red for Democrats. And the only towns is Vienna and Dane. I did this in a previous video. We looked at these towns. Yeah, it's not looking good. It really isn't. But it says we're getting a low turnout. It said that Crawford is losing some turnout in Dane County. There is some hope. But yeah, all you gotta do is maybe give Rock County, go a little bit north, and hey, just do a path to, just do half of, like, go do a little path or a tail to Madison, and there you go. It's solid Democrat now. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. So there goes 2 seats. 2 seats. We can't let that happen. That's why we need to get out and vote. That's why, and I'm so happy for Elon Musk. He went to Wisconsin last night, and a lot of the left, they're boo-hoo whining and crying, saying that he's buying the election. No, he's not. Because this is absolutely normal. Because we have Taylor Swift backing Kamala Harris. We have Mark Cuban backing Kamala Harris. We have Beyonce backing Kamala Harris. And the minute where is backed by a famous person, you must be stealing the election. Jeez. How much money did Kamala Harris raise? And how much money came from wealthy billionaires? Or what the left wants to call oligarchs. I'm guessing a lot. My guess. So Elon Musk is definitely going to make an impact to this race. Absolutely. I think half of it is the turnout is going to increase. If you guys are saying, oh, do you think it's going to look like 2023? And my answer is going to be no. It shouldn't. That is an extreme everything goes wrong scenario. Okay? Everything goes wrong, and reasons why. This race was obviously not the most expensive race. This race, 2025, the Supreme Court race, it's allegedly going to be the most biggest race in U.S. history. Biggest Supreme Court, most expensive Supreme Court race. You could say, oh, it's because of Elon. Well, no one's saying he can't donate. The Democrats are losing their minds over it. But this is the most expensive race. This has been made more traction. Let's see how many polls were released. Okay, were there polls? I'm sure there were. Interesting. There were no polls, but guess what? There were post-primary, there were the primary, post-primary endorsements, much more. And usually, when you take a look at the primary endorsements, look at this. Big list. Let's see how much Daniel Kelly, he had a little bit. You have that also. So you can rest assured that this race is probably going to be high in turnout. I'm pretty positive and confident of that. More turnout will allow this to not happen. Meaning, I am confident that Crawford's not getting 55.43%. How Janet got that? It's a mix. You got abortion, pro-abortion liberals, this college students. They marched out and voted in droves. And you also had lukewarm Republicans. I wouldn't say lukewarm, but just Republicans that didn't care. They just didn't see the issue, and they didn't have a reason to vote. Republicans have a reason to vote now. Republicans realize, and Elon Musk has I wouldn't say advertised it, he's made it clear what's at stake. Republicans have a reason to vote because 2 Supreme Court seats are on the table. They're on the line. Because Democrats, they've already did it, guys. Last year, Alabama and Louisiana. They will make a big sob story to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will roll over backwards for them and give them 2 seats. Like they did nothing. They didn't earn single votes from us and their constituents. They kicked out our representatives from Alabama and Louisiana, and now they're solid Democrat. And now they're threatening to do it in Wisconsin. This is what is going to happen. Democrats realize, hey, look, getting the House of Representatives is going to be hard now because we are losing our rural areas. So let's gerrymander. Let's boo-hoo whine and cry to the court and demand we get our way. And if you have the court all being liberals, and especially Susan Crawford, who is an emotional, unhinged woman who puts her constituents last, who actually sides with monsters over victims, for sure, absolutely, they would approve a modified map, which would give the 3rd and 1st districts to Democrats in the next election. This is what's at stake. So the question is, what will we do if Crawford does win, which seems pretty likely? Then there is a way forward. We have to attack. We have to go into Louisiana and Alabama. We have to push hard. We lost a case in Louisiana. I don't know why we keep losing these cases. The Democrats stole a district without any votes, without any approval from their constituents. Big, wealthy Democrats kicked out our leaders in 2 districts and replaced them with theirs. And they pulled the race card. Be the president. No. Imagine if that argument actually worked. Our congressional districts will be looking so weird, crisscross all across the country, due to demographic and racial groups. That's not how it works. Our congressional districts are sorted out by population, not by race. This is ridiculous. So absolutely, what they did was unconstitutional, but Republicans in Louisiana and Alabama, it's not just them. We should be Donald Trump, the Republicans, the House of Representatives, if we actually need to be so bold, we have to bring this to the Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court, and say, hey, you got gerrymandering. This, obviously, if that happens, that would kind of determine the future of gerrymandering, honestly. But gerrymandering is legal. And that's kind of how you draw House districts. But the point is, this was Democrats, for some way and somehow, manipulated the courts to get Alabama and Louisiana to use race as a motive to gain seats. So that's obviously our pathway forward if we lose this race, which is possible. And I would say more likely than not, we have a chance. It's not over. NSC is saying that Crawford will win at the end of the night, but I can be wrong. And I hope I am wrong. I do not take pride of my predictions. I don't. And I predict the worst, mainly to prevent the devastation and the confusion of what the future of our party will be next. I predict doomsday predictions to get you guys understanding, hey, look, this is what's at risk. Hey, look, this is what could happen. Get yourselves under control. Let's get this party. Let's fix this problem. And sometimes it's uncontrollable, and say, hey, look, before we lose, we got to come up with a plan. And here's our plan. If we lose the Supreme Court seat, the Democrats, they'll make a huge deal about it. The Democratic Party's back! Let them do their thing. And Republicans, they need to come together, and they're going to say, hey, look, we may have to let the 3rd and 1st districts fall. And that's a hard thing to do. And the good news is we can take it to the courts. But if we lose in the courts in Wisconsin, we can at least battle for the court in Louisiana and in Alabama to get those 2 districts back. We can do that. So, ideally, Democrats aren't gaining 2 seats. They're gaining nothing. They're just located in different areas. And heck, I think it's possible if they temporarily change the map, we can, if we fight hard enough and take it to the court after court after court, I think we can get those 2 districts back. But the House Speaker Jeffries has so dumb. He's coming out and saying, "Oh, we want to win this Supreme Court seat because we want to literally rip off our constituents, kick out their leaders, so we can put our leaders in." Is that the argument you're trying to make, Jeffries? That sounds very undemocratic. That sounds very oligarchic. So I don't understand why these people boo-hoo whine and cry about Elon Musk when they don't even look at themselves and say, this is what, look at what we did. You hold yourself accountable, and they can't do that. Now, before I leave, it's important, I want to explain the WAB counties, because I'm sure we all know the WOW counties. Waukesha, Ozaki, and Washington counties. They are pretty much Republicans. They need to really turn it out in these counties, the 3 counties, and if they make the turnout, hey, guess what? This seat, it's possible this state would be red. Make a big turnout there. But there's also counties that Republicans must do good in and will. They're bellwethers, and that's the WAB counties. We don't know them. But the counties include W for Winnebago, O for Ozaki, and B for Brown. Okay, you'll see these are the counties that Janet carried. Brown has Green Bay, Appleton, and then you have, I think Appleton's here, and then you have Oshkosh. There are 2 big cities, and that's why these are blue or green in this scenario for Janet. But notice she's not carrying them like a solid margin like she's carrying it in Rock. We want to keep it that way. I mean, Janet managed to get 55% even with Oshkosh or Ozaki, Winnebago, and Brown in the 50% call. That's not good. That's still not good. Go, good for you. You kept it going from 60%. Good job, Daniel Kelly. No. Republicans must carry Brown. We can't win without Brown County. That is the truth. Republicans must win Winnebago County. We can't win without Winnebago County. It's a bellwether. And then we have to win an Ozaki County. We can't win without Ozaki. Whoa, do we need to carry this? Well, yeah, ideally, this area will basically tell us if we're doing good over here. And I would imagine if this was really a high turnout election, I would imagine that these counties would be red. Because the reason why Janet won these counties is because of low turnout. That is the reason. Same deal here. You don't even have 1 million votes because of COVID. That's understandable. 2019, still not even a million votes, but still. You, Hagedorn and Niebuhr haven't even cracked the 50, like 1 million. So allegedly, we're gonna get 1 million. That doesn't happen that much. But if it's true, we with the returns we're getting in Waukesha County and Racine County, Republicans are gaining there. Then I would expect Republicans to carry the Southwest. That's my expectation. The reason why these are blue is because of low turnout. Republicans there aren't moving. But seeing that Elon Musk is here and Brad Schimmel's ads are amazing, attacking Susan Crawford for her policies, the fact that she sentenced a child rapist murderer to 2 years in prison and now is walking free. I think that speaks volume, and that's an indictment against her. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Anyway, the election is tomorrow. Don't be complacent. Get out and vote. Make sure that Brad Schimmel is the next Supreme Court justice, and not just save Wisconsin, but save America. In this case, save Wisconsin, because you have the 3rd district and the 1st district. They don't get to choose. They don't get to have a say in this. Democrats do, and the court does. And Susan Crawford can care less about the constituents and about their right to choose the next congressman of their said district. She cares less. Don't believe she's such a nonpartisan judge. No, her record says it all. So let me know what you guys think. See you all in the next political episode.